And we are live. Good evening and welcome to 388 Racing. So, this evening we've got set up with John Grush from Northeast Motorcycle Road Racing. And then I've got three of the MotoAmerica riders, Teagg, Hobbs, Eli Block, Gloddy. And we'll talk a little bit about their preseason and what's going on and what we can expect. What is it, 2 weekends from now?
Yeah, it's getting close.
Yep.
2 weekends from now. So, John, why don't you give us a little heads up on what's up with NEMRR for this year and what's going on with that?
The biggest news is that we're changing our software operating system. We're no longer using Motorsport Reg, and we're using Volar. And it's been interesting. They're definitely designing the program exactly the way we want it, and it's a lot of loose ends that need to be tightened up. And once we get it all done, it should be pretty slick and cool for everybody. So that's probably the biggest news. And then obviously we're going to do some more track improvements, and we're going to try to figure out how we change 10, because theoretically we made improvements, but we made a bigger hit for everybody coming down the hill there, and going to try again to see if we can get the big hit at the bottom of the hill to go away. So but other than that, it's just business as usual.
Yeah, that big hit at the bottom of 10, that's been like a moving target.
Yeah, it's been difficult. I mean,
you fix it and...
Well, I mean, when you do a pavement improvement, it can either work or not work. And so it's we've been pretty lucky on all the other improvements we've done, but this one's definitely been a thorn in our side.
Yep. So the schedule's been posted for the season. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, no, and we're to a 6-race series instead of 7, just because of spacing. And then we got thrown a little curveball with the Classic having to move forward a week, and it definitely made things a little uncomfortable for us with another organization, because traditionally they've had that weekend all along, and that wasn't our intention to bump that situation, but. It'll all work out, and then next year should be back to the same traditional schedule that it's always been. But I guess the biggest issue is that NASCAR moved because the Olympics are in Paris, and all the film crews and TV crews are going to be there for the Olympics, and NASCAR had to move their date to comply to the schedule of the Olympics, basically.
Wow. A lot of background information and a lot of things turning for sure.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to Mr. Teagg Hobbs.
What's going on?
Teagg, go ahead and introduce yourself, the team you're racing for, and you're going to be in the 200, I assume.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I just did a recap on the 2023 race.
Oh, really?
And
Yeah.
Just
No, I'm looking forward to it. I got another shot this year with the Vision Wheel M4 XR Suzuki team, and last year's Daytona 200 it was good and it was bad. I've been watching it every single day for the past like 2 or 3 weeks, ever since I found out I was doing it again this year. It was like last year was a huge learning experience for me, because a lot of things were new. I mean, the basics are just new class, new bike, and stuff like that. But just there's a lot of difference in how things operate in that new class and on that new bike, and how to handle certain situations, and a lot of different stuff that gets thrown at you, in a big race like that, and a big team like that, and I was just going into everything pretty blind, and just kept my eyes open. And I'm really, really happy I get to do another year with it, because, I learned so much last year, and I want to implement it, and I want to see what I can do with all that information and all that knowledge I gained. And I still have a ton more, to learn. But I'm really excited. And up until about, a month ago, I really didn't know if I was going to be racing, or if I was just going to do the 200, or just some East Coast MotoAmerica stuff, or what have you. And So no, I'm super appreciative that this was all able to come together, thanks to a select few people, and yeah, I'm excited. I've been training harder than ever, and physically I feel better than ever. Mentally, I feel better than ever. Um, I got a little rowing machine in my house, and every morning I put on the 2023 race, and like I just keep watching what those front guys were doing last year, and what I was doing wrong, and what I was doing right. And I don't know, I'm ready. I'm excited, and it's going to be awesome to have Eli out there in that race, and it's awesome to see Ben back on the Aprilia. I don't know, it'll be a good year. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you had a pretty good season last year. First year with the Super Sport.
Yeah, it has its ups and downs, just like anything. But as a whole, like I look back on it, and I'm happy. I did a lot of things I didn't think I could, and the mistakes I made in the bad races, I needed them, and now I'm in a better position this year to go out and try to fix those little mistakes. Um, it's different though because I almost feel like this year I have a little bit more pressure on me because I'm a firm believer that when you go into something new, like a new season or a new bike, your first year you have a little bit of leeway with expectation, but if you have the following year, you follow up with the same program and the same setup, and you don't do better, if not the same, I got this idea that your stock price as a rider goes down a little bit. And so, I just want to show people that I can take everything from last year and improve upon it. And I don't know. I also learned last year that, even on the bad days, I was having good days. It was awesome just
Yeah.
to be at the tracks on those days and just like to ride with like Chavi Flores, a world level guy, and like Josh Hayes and Stefano and Tyler Scott. Like those weren't things to take for granted. As much as I didn't like them and I wanted to beat them. And, I look back on it now. I'm like, wow, this is an amazing experience that I really need to take a step back and say, wow, this is pretty incredible. So I get another shot this year to do exactly that, and it's shaping up to be I think one of the coolest super sport seasons in a long time. With all these new guys coming in, PJ Jacobson. I mean, he got second in the World Super Sport Championship, 4 or 5 years ago, Chavi's going to be back racing, and Tyler and Stefano and Corey Alexander and Kayla's going to be on that V2. Then I'm hearing about a few other superbike guys coming down to Super Sport. I mean, I think it's just going to be awesome. And yeah, so like I said, I think there's a little bit more pressure this year. I want to do better than my rookie year, but no, I also got 5 or 6 more people that are very high caliber riders, especially with Daytona coming. You got Niccolo Canepa, Marvin Fritz, all those guys from the Yart endurance team going down there on R6s to do the race. I mean, I'm excited, but I'm also, every morning when I get up to do some training and I want to stop, I make sure to do, a few extra miles. So, yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
Eli had
Oh,
quite
no.
the season last year. He,
It's pretty good.
yeah, it was pretty good. I started calling you Rain Man after the classic.
Yeah, I mean, not to be that guy, but I mean, I would be fine if it rained every race, but I don't want to also be known as that guy. It's also
True.
it's good to be known to be fast, good in the rain, but I want to prove that I can do something in the dry as well. I was mad after it was cool after Jersey, to get my first 2 wins, but I also had in the back of my head, I was like, for me, it didn't count. It counts, but I want to do it in the dry just so I can prove that I have that raw speed. I have the technicality in the rain, but the raw speed I want to show. So, as Teagg was talking about last year with his rookie year, I don't feel like this is a rookie year for me, but this is my first full season and in junior cup, and I am the oldest kid in the class, I believe. So, I have that expectation of oh, he's the oldest kid, he should have that experience, and should be, but I'm excited to kind of go through and learn a few new tracks and kind of just do the full season. It takes me usually, when I was doing, my 2 rounds a year, my first round was always pretty shaky. And because, I hadn't been in the groove for a while. So, because it was been a year from the last time I did it. So this year it's going to be cool to kind of hop out there and just do 6 of the rounds and, hopefully battle it out and top and leave off where I start off where I left off. And, I got to thank BartCon Racing, Colin, for kind of believing in me. Last year he was taking a step back and kind of was done with it. And, I bought the bike from him and he supported me for the 2 rounds that I did as well. He supported me for the classic. And, after that round, I called him and he was like, what are you doing for next year? I want to try doing a full season. He's like, that's great. What's your team name? Like, what team are you going to be on? I was like, I'm thinking BartCon Racing. He's like, what about the team ECB? I was like, no, I don't know. Maybe full BartCon Racing. He's like, that's expensive for me. I was like, yeah, it is. But, all joking aside, it's, I spent a whole bunch of this, first part of this off season just making phone calls for 6-7 hours a day, just reaching out to people, trying to, fund this season. And, luckily everything's came together and a whole bunch of new sponsors and past sponsors have really stepped up and helped me out so I can have this happen. And, obviously at Loudon, I'm still going to be doing the full, as many rounds as I can. I think I'm only missing 1, but, with, as people do know, at the banquet, Stowe did retire. So, that kind of was a curveball late in the off season. So I had to make some choices and, luckily, I had some people that really wanted to help out and switch tire brands. So I'm excited to start that new journey as well this year.
Nice. And you're doing the 200 as well. That's the big thing.
Yeah,
and
no,
you're on.
I am. I'm going to be doing it on Mike Jones Racing Triumph 675. Kind of was just joking. I met Sean, the guy that owns the bike in Pittsburgh last year at the 2-hour endurance, and he was pitted with one of my dad's good friend, Kevin Grimmel. And, I talked to him. We talked for a little bit that weekend, and, I saw him again at the Barber Vintage Festival. And I was just joking around. I was like, hey, man, what if a kid wants to do the 200? He's like, you want to do it? I was like, yeah. He's like, let's do it. So, fully committed to that. And, I thought he was joking at first. And then halfway through the offseason, he called me. He's like, hey, you want to come down and try this bike? So I went down to Roebling for the test and tune and, just instantly fell in love with the bike. It's definitely it's a lot different than the R6 I ride, but, in a good way. It's got its pluses, it's got its minuses. And, I'm really looking forward to finally getting down to Daytona. I've never been there. I've always, growing up, watched Daytona Supercross, the 500, Rolex 24. It's always been like a dream place to go to, and never had a chance to. So really excited to be part of the full experience and get down there. There's really no expectations. Our whole team has no experience doing pit stops, so we're going to be putting the work in from Wednesday to Saturday, just doing pit stops at night. You're going to be hearing bikes at 10 o'clock at night. It's going to be me in the pits, just practicing our pit stops.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Make sure you do a lot of practice on the pit stops, and you're going to really enjoy getting your cherry busted on Daytona. It's a fun track.
Yeah, hopefully, everyone tells me like, dude, I can't wait to see your face when you come off the banking, and I can't wait. It's cool. I can't wait, but it's also like, I am who I am, and I always, no matter what, I always say I have no expectations. And sure, I have to come in that way, but in the back of my head, I want to be competitive. I want to do the best I can. So after that first lap, I'll be a little giddy, and after that, I got to put my head down and get on to work and kind of just catch a toe and learn the track as fast as possible. And luckily, Daytona seems fairly simple. Obviously there's tips and tricks that, the locals or the people that have been there for a while know, and hopefully I can learn. And I don't know how they're doing. Last year they separated the Group A and Group B from speed. I don't know this year. Heard they're doing it from numbers, or, if they do it again for speed, hopefully I can get into that top group and catch a toe with the top guys. Teagg, I know, has a whole bunch of experience around there. Even when he was on a bone stock R6, he was battling up front with Sean Dillon Kelly and those guys. So, guys like Teagg and all those guys with experience would be great to learn from.
Yeah, definitely. But I hope somebody gets a good picture of you when you come off the track after your first session, because you'll probably have a pretty good shit-eating grin for sure. Mr. Gloddy, Ben, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Daytona again coming up, and if you would just you're riding for.
Yeah, so I'll be riding for the Robum Rodeo Racing team again at Daytona. And right now it's just a one-off round there, and just still trying to come up with a little bit of funding to try and get a full season in. But for now, at least we'll get Daytona and then all the NEMRR stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's always a pleasure to watch you out there with that 660 at Loudon, turning some incredible lap times on it. But I mean, you've and I mentioned it when we were talking when you first came up that your luck at Daytona, and it's you're doing the right thing, and then all of a sudden somebody either takes you out or something stupid happens, and you just really haven't got a good break.
Yeah,
And,
the last 2 years at Daytona have been a little rough. Last year I got hurt pretty bad and took a good chunk of the season off, and that hurt me a little bit trying to come into this season, because I just wasn't getting talked about a whole lot, and I wasn't able to ride. But we're trying to make something work, and hopefully we can get something together for the whole season.
Yeah, because the Twin Cup bikes. What's a lap time at Daytona on a Twin Cup?
58.
Yeah, 58, 59, I think, right around there.
Yeah, qualifying times back in like the late 90s for the 200 was like a 205.
Wild.
Yeah.
That was the cutoff for the qualifying, a 205. And we got lightweight twins now that are, cranking out 58s, which is ridiculous. It's amazing how much things have changed since way back when I was really heavy into it. Now I'm just an old guy just trying to relive my youth, kind of like John. Am I right, John?
I don't know if I'm trying to relive my youth. I had a little issue last summer, so I think I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah, well, I had that pretty good crash down at Roebling last year too, and I'm pretty happy that I'm still walking.
I would like to say, as a club, NEMRR is pretty psyched that we have 3 riders that have won MotoAmerica races, and I don't know how many small-time clubs can say that they've got that type of repertoire of riders that have basically started in our organization. That's pretty cool.
It's amazing the amount of talent that's come out of NEMRR. It's amazing, especially these 3 young guys right here. I mean, this is the upcoming stars, and they all get out there and just ride the wheels off those bikes. It's amazing. But
Just too young and stupid.
Say again?
I said it's just because we're just too young and stupid. It's not like we really know what we're doing.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I was there once, long time ago.
I mean, it started off, I found out when I tried grabbing Ben's ass on the XO100 down the back straightaway at Canaan to lock bars. So, ever since that moment, I was just like, all right, cool. It's going to be what it's like.
Yeah, because all 3 of you guys kind of rode coming up together.
Yeah, me and Teagg, we've been riding with each other since I think I was like 10 or 11 years old.
Yeah. I think me and Ben got our first pro wins in the same weekend in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But, yeah.
But you see, you guys, you just don't realize that Teague's got this unfair advantage over you, because have you ever seen how long his toes are?
I know. He can just he can latch on to anything he wants.
Yeah.
Pull himself forward.
He doesn't even have to think about shifting.
Hey, that's my biggest problem with racing right now, all right? That the ball of my foot is so far forward that it pushes my heel closer to my ass, so that my knees are more scrunched than they should be. And now I have
What size boots do you wear?
What's that?
What size boots do you wear?
The Alpine Stars are like 48 euros.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
but
like
48.
that's like a
You're
15.
cramped in there then in the 48.
Jeez, I could
What
fit
size
both
street
my
shoe
feet
are
in
you?
it.
Like 13 or 14, but but no, it's like actually a problem. I went to Jennings last weekend, and I rode around on I was riding a Suzuki, but it had a stock seat with rear sets, so the seat to peg height was tiny, and I couldn't ride like more than 10 laps without my knees screaming at me. So now for the past month, I've been doing hot yoga once, sometimes twice a day, trying to get maybe some like mobility and blood to the joints. So you can make fun of my long toes, John, but it's a disease, okay?
Hey, look it. Not all of us can hang upside down in trees.
Jeez.
Are you jealous?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm working on it, all right? Yeah.
Man, I wish I had the talent any one of these three had in their pinky.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes that talent runs out pretty quick when you're trying to mess with each other, or whatever else. All of a sudden, you're laying on the ground.
Yeah, many times, many times.
So, how about expectations for this year? We'll start with Teagg.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to throw you right in the fire, my friend.
I think Ben and Eli talk better than you do now.
Than me?
Mm-hmm. And you.
Yeah. All right. I'll take it.
Ben used to just say,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll be truthful. All three of these guys are very articulate, very smart, very Eli sometimes.
Yeah,
but,
I was about to say I'm a block. It doesn't run in the family.
Eli can turn it on when he needs to, but
I don't know.
Go ahead, Teagg.
I mean, I separate Daytona and Loudon different than the season. I don't know. For Daytona, it's tough. I always feel like year to year, there's always a bunch of unknowns, and you never really know until you get out for that first lap and that first session results. But I want to finish in the top 5. Ideally, I want to win the race. I'd love to win the race. I'd love to get on the podium there. So it's been a dream of mine. I think about it 24/7. Loudon for the Classic, I want to win that one, and I want to pay some bills. Yeah, and then the season, I'd really love to be top 3 in the championship at the end of the year. It's really tough. I'm trying not to factor in, year to year. You either go to, in my eyes, you either go into a class and go to these races to compete or not. And so I think a lot about who I have to race against this year, and the list is long of threats. And yeah, I don't know. I'd love to be top 3 in the championship, and then I kind of just want to see how the first half of the year goes, and then plan from there. I'm gonna just kind of leave it all out there. The first 3 or 4 rounds, do whatever I can to win a race, and then if we're in that position points wise going into the second half of the year, I'd love to win a championship. I mean, who wouldn't? But I'd be happy with top 3 in the championship. Last year I finished 5th in the championship, so I just want steady progress. The top 3 would make me happy. A win would make me very happy. But yeah, all my eyes and focus and determinations for Daytona is next week. I think is moving. Yeah, I want to win that one. I want to win it bad.
Yeah, 5th place in your rookie year in Supersport. That's nothing to to shake your head at. That's an accomplishment in itself, especially with the caliber of guys you were racing against.
Yeah, honestly, I had no idea what I was getting into last year. I didn't know if I was going to show up, be an 11th place guy, a 7th place guy, or a 20th place guy. And luckily, we had some good showings and some races. And a lot of my low scoring races, I think I had 2 DNFs, and then two races that I just not good. So if I can just minimize the DNFs. One was a crash, one was a mechanical. So, I made a lot of mistakes last year, and I knew I was going to. I was going to do my best to minimize those, but whatever happened, happened, and I had a big crash at Texas, and that crash was completely my fault, and I know exactly what I did wrong. And so going into this year, I had a few opportunities to race for a few different teams, but I kind of thought to myself, what's going to give me the best opportunity to roll out for the new season and not have the unknowns that I had last year? And yeah, I really want to get on the Suzuki for a second year, see what we can do. And yeah, I got to race against a lot of good guys this year. And I'm not saying I'm scared, but I'm feeling the pressure.
Yeah, I can imagine there is a little bit of pressure there, if nothing else.
Yeah, but also there's a lot of pressure there behind the competition. But I had a lot of pressure last year racing against Hayes, Forez, and Mesa, Tyler Scott. And I think about half the year we were able to stand by that pressure and actually put ourselves out there and join them in the fight. So when I do feel pressure about this year and this season's competition, there's the other half of me that's saying it's okay. We're on pretty equal machinery, equal bikes, and they're just people just like me. And there's no way they can go around that track faster than I can if I'm in those shoes, So I'm just going to try to make it happen, be smart about it, and minimize the mistakes.
All right. Well, keep doing what you're doing with the workouts. And I can't wait to see you guys on TV again.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I'd love to get down there for the 200, but it's just not going to happen. But
sometimes it's better on the couch. You get all the angles.
Eli, how about you? What's your expectations for this year?
Well, I'll drop my handicap in golf first. That's main important.
What's your handicap?
I got a 20 handicap right now. It's not great. Shoot 90s. But you know what? It's a work in progress.
Which putt do you go to?
One down the street. It has like exotic animals like dinosaurs. Pretty cool. Expectations. Daytona, I really have none. I obviously want to do good. But, as I was talking to someone earlier today, it's usually in racing, it's a 70-30 split. 70% is on the rider and 30% is on the team getting the bike prepared and, getting it through the race. And, Daytona is different. It's a 35-65 split pretty much, 35% of it's really just the riding. And the 65% of it is just the pre-prep and, getting the pit stops dialed. So there's a whole bunch of, stuff that goes on extra. So hopefully we can get that all set. And, I believe in my team. I chose people that I really believed in. And, I think we're going to have a strong showing. And that's my main goal, just have a strong showing. Obviously, it would be cool to have a Rolex. Worst case, I have to buy one later on in life. But, just keep on going. But, Loudon, I've grown up, at Loudon. I've been there since I was 3 years old, watching my dad race. And, of course, I want to win the Classic. That would be a dream. Having that big cup just sitting somewhere in my room would just be, Shane has 10 of them. He doesn't need any more of them, I want to have a cup somewhere in my room. So that would always be a dream. But, we got some fast people coming, and especially with how stacked the super sport class is this year, there's so many freaking fast guys. And hopefully they come out to Loudon. It's always great to have that, all that talent come there. And as Teagg says, I believe the same way. Me, Ben, Teagg, we're all human. There's always human error. There's always a cap. And, some people's cap is, a little bit higher than others, but, it doesn't mean I can't get there in time. It's just, we have that home track. We have that the home fans. It is our home. And, I'm very protective of my home. I don't want people coming in and beating me at my own track. And obviously, there's going to be some fast guys that come. But I really want to go for the championship. me and Colin have talked about this a lot over the last few months. This year is just, I got to do as well as I can just so I can hopefully present myself for next year. So I can start maybe climbing the ranks. This year is, I am going to be closer to the Cody Wyman age of Junior Cup, and I don't want to be that old racing Junior Cup. And, just keep on going. And I think this year, if I can keep my head straight and, me and my dad are working together, luckily I have my dad coming to 4 of the 6 rounds. And I'll have another mechanic that I know very, very well coming to the other 2 rounds. And I'm very comfortable with my dad. We've worked very well together for the last 6-7 years, and we know everything about each other, and he knows when something's wrong and he knows how to fix it. So, I think if I can keep myself straight and not lose my shit, I think I'll be pretty set.
All right. Yeah, very good. Look forward to seeing you out there this year.
Hey, Craig, before you go to Ben, I just want to say something is that, Ben is on a 1 ride only at Daytona. And if there's a guy out there that's deserving of being able to ride a whole season of MotoAmerica, Ben's definitely one of the top guys on my list. And so if there's anybody out there that has interest in trying to help Ben out, and I know that what it costs to run on any of these teams, and it's a lot of money. And I know that Ben's mom, Christine, is awesome and does a lot of things. But, again, I think us as a group, if anybody has any thoughts of ways to help Ben financially be able to run a whole season of MotoAmerica, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, very good point. Very good point.
Yeah,
I agree
thank
with
you for
that
that,
100%. Because, last year Ben got injured and it kind of took him out for most of the season, and it was no fault of his own. He got taken out, and it kind of sucks. But the kid's got tons of talent. By all means, if anybody's got any kind of ideas of how we can keep him in the MotoAmerica realm for the season, that'd be awesome. So Ben, you're going down to race the Daytona race for.
Robo.
Yeah, I just completely forgot the freaking name of the team. But go ahead.
Yeah, first I thank you guys for throwing that out there. We've been trying to do as much as we can this off season to try and make something happen. But I just found out for sure 2 weeks ago that I was going to Daytona. So it's difficult trying to throw everything together last minute. But for Daytona, I don't have super high expectations. I want to be in that top 5 fight, be in the fight for the podium, and just kind of start getting back racing with these guys again, because I took a lot of the year off last year. I came back and did Jersey and left with a 4th and a 5th, so couldn't complain about that. And yeah, nothing super high for Daytona. And going into the Loudon Classic, I think all 3 of us have the same goals. We all want to win it. It's all our home track. So if anyone's going to win it, I'd like to see either Teagg or Eli on that top step, or maybe the 3 of us fill the podium.
That would be unbelievable, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be that'd be a hell of a weekend for the 3 of us.
He would said that you guys don't have a chance against him.
Oh no?
Does he know he's a grandpa?
Yeah. He is a grandpa now.
Yeah, you got to make it past like lap 6 too to be able to.
Yeah. Dude, if you see his progression, it goes like 11 back to 14s. Like, it's fine.
Hey Ben, I'll make a deal with you right now. If either of us win, we split winning.
Oh.
Ooh.
Well,
I mean,
I just missed out on that.
We both got bills to pay, so mine as well.
Here's what we do. We do a good old 2 wide and have we have a triangle formation. We have you 2 up front. I just clean people's front tires.
Yeah, it's not a bad play.
As the people at Loudon know, I'm really good at swerving on the front straightaway.
I think Ian's in the chat room.
Yeah, Ian is in the chat. We got Ian and Sam's in there. Samir.
Cramp.
So John, now it's time for me to put you on the hot seat.
All right.
if I can remember what the frig I was going to ask you. But,
See, I'm good then.
yeah. So, Loudon Classic this year. We have the same person putting up the purse.
Yes, we do.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and he's
Uh,
added, 50
and
grand for the Azra Outlaw Baggers class also. So,
and I know he stays anonymous, and I can probably speak for just about everybody. Thank you so much for doing that. It has really brought a lot of publicity to Loudon and to NEMRR in regards to having a big professional race like that. What kind of changes in the class? Well, first off, how many people have shown interest at coming this year, as far
right
as teams
now,
go?
teams go. I think we're going to have 3 and possibly up to 5 of the big rigs in the parking lot this year. So,
Question:
that's yes,
Will they know how to park this year?
no, Eli. they haven't taken the Eli Block lessons on how to drive yet. So,
Okay.
but
That's
think
probably a good thing.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely a great thing.
The biggest thing that is different this year than last year is that we have the ability, if we have to, because of weather, we can move the race to Sunday, which we didn't have that ability last year. So, obviously last year wasn't the way that I would have liked to see a race happen, but we didn't have many choices on that, and especially didn't want to see a race end the way that it ended last year. So, but so hopefully this year we're a little luckier with the weather, and we get to run a whole race in the dry, which is a whole nother scary thought in itself. I mean, people say that, well, what about the rain? Wasn't that made it more dangerous? I think the rain actually might have calmed it down a little. So, because people weren't as heroic as they wanted to be, even though a lot of people fell down, but still it's I think the dry is going to show a whole different show. So
yeah, I agree. But I remember getting done the classic last year, and I went up to my dad after the race, and one of the first things I said to him, I was like, if that was in the dry, that would have been even worse.
yeah,
There's 20 people out there who are very fast, and they're all money hungry.
Exactly. So I mean, I just hope that we can run it as safely as last year it was run. I mean, fortunately, I had one guy break a collarbone, and that was it. But so this year, let's hope for dry and level heads.
Well, you only had to escort the one lady out, so
Yeah.
that wasn't too bad.
No, but again, it's it's just a shame because we did all the work, and it was amazing how many people were sitting in those bleachers in the rain. So I just can't even imagine how many people are going to be sitting in the bleachers if it's dry.
Well, I'm keeping everything crossed for this year. Now, you just mentioned something. You mentioned baggers. Maybe I haven't been paying attention, but
yeah. So Azra has this outlaw baggers class now, and so we've teamed up together to produce a $50,000 purse money, which I think is probably the biggest purse for a baggers race anywhere. And so hopefully we have a few of those guys show up to make it a race, and we're trying to figure out how do we get them off the track if they go down, because they're going to fit on our little trailer. So.
Ben, are you getting molested?
No, I got the dogs over here, and they keep trying to jump up on me, and
I feel like a bagger would be.
Well, take that peanut butter out of your lap, and you'll be good.
Oh, trust me, butter down there right now.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing baggers out there. Not only are you probably going to have, other than EMS, you may need a fire crew out there from all the sparks that'll be flying.
Yeah, I mean, it's only going to be a 10-lap race, but I don't know if I'd want to wrestle one of those things around for 10 laps.
I feel like that would be pretty cool. I would be down to try that. Other than like, I feel like it'd be like the most fun 10 laps I've ever had, but also the scariest 10 laps I've ever had.
You guys see that video of Rispoli going up onto the banking on his?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got a feeling up out of turn 3.
Turn 4.
Exactly like that.
And 12. I mean, they're going to be getting on the gas pretty hard coming out of there.
I don't know. I think the bowl would be it. The bowl would definitely be it. Like bowl going into 7. Rear wheel goes over the top.
I think having those everywhere is going to be fun to see those things go around everywhere. It's just incredible to me that those things are going as fast as they are at all other tracks. I mean, that's just pretty impressive.
I mean, technically, the only thing left on that bike that's bagger is the frame.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got an Ultra, an 18th anniversary, and it's a fun, even as in street trim, it's fun to ride.
Yeah, I don't even think the frame is that stock, Craig.
No.
Really?
Yeah,
they just have the bags.
Swing arms on them, I think.
But yeah, when the first time I saw one, I was like, this is definitely not a bagger.
Yeah.
It's about as far from a bagger as you can get.
I think they did like 180 at Daytona.
Yeah, Shane had the top trap speed at Daytona last year. It was like 180.
Yeah, and it's still a lot of fun watching those big boat anchor motors, pumping out the horsepower they are. It's pretty amazing. Any changes or anything we need to know about, John? Are they doing season camping passes at Loudon?
Yeah, I mean, that's still controlled by the track itself. So all the camping goes through Mary Dufresne's. And so, but no real changes. I think it's, the biggest change was them flipping, we'll be racing in July now because the NASCAR race is earlier. So it'll be the first time we get to have a race in the middle of July. So that's kind of cool. Gets to spread out the season a little more evenly for us. But as far as I'm aware, I mean, as Eli said, Stowe's retiring, and that's going to be a huge void in everything at the track. So it's going to be a little different scene going on at the track without him being there.
All right. Well, I'm going to pass it around for any final words. And I guess we'll wrap it up. I really appreciate you guys coming on, but we'll pass it around for some final words and then we'll close it up. John.
I mean, I just like to, again, we have such a great organization up at NEMRR, and, from every end of it, from the people that are involved in running the race to the people that volunteer to do things, to the spectator field that we have, and to the racers and the community that we've developed up there. It's truly, a club race atmosphere. And that was what our goal was, is to create, real club racing again. And I think we've achieved that. And it's, having guys like these three involved in what we do is just a bonus on top of it all. I mean, and I know that, Eric brought it up at the banquet about, you look around and how many young people we have racing again. I mean, we had really none before. And then, Teagg and Ben were the guinea pigs of the program. I guess Teagg was the original guinea pig. And then Ben came along because his mom told me that Ben beats Teagg all the time. So I said, well, I guess we need Ben around. So, but no, I mean, but like we have so many young people in the field. I mean, and then even like some of the older veterans that aren't really old at racing. I mean, look at the championships won this year. Yeah, we had Scotty Greenwood that wasn't part of it this year, but still that's part of racing. And we had a lot of young guys, a lot of new faces winning championships this year, which was really cool. And so I just look forward to us just keep on developing the system and get it to run smoother and have racing be around for a long time up in New England.
All right. Teagg.
Yeah, I think it's pretty incredible what John is doing with NEMRR. I mean, even through all the adversity of the past season up there, I mean, him and the whole crew have drive and motivation and perseverance to keep everything going and improve everything. They don't have to do that, so that's pretty incredible. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a season. I'm looking forward to being able to go up to Loudon a little bit more this year. Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. I'm officially living a lot closer to Loudon now, only 20 minutes away, and there's only one round that conflicts. So it's going to be cool to go up there, see some familiar faces throughout the whole year. And yeah, thank you to John, Eric, and those founding fathers up at Loudon for making all you guys are the founding fathers, the Pilgrims. But no, it's pretty incredible. Like, I went up there. I only think I went to 3, maybe 4 rounds last season, even just to watch or hang out. But you look at that garage when you get right off the pit lane, and you see this garage full of 10 little kids running around in suits, and it's just cool to see. Nathan Betancourt, he's out there. He's super young, and he's going very fast, and it's cool to see that presence of new kids, filling in the garages, and like you said, a lot of new people winning championships last year, and I think it's awesome. Everything's great, and them bringing back that purse for the classic makes everything exciting again. And I think this year for NEMRR will be better than ever, and I'm hoping this year's MotoAmerica season for me is better than ever. So yeah, thank you to John, Eric, and everybody from up at Loudon for supporting me, and Ben and Eli and everybody who goes to these MotoAmerica races, trying to make all the Loudon people proud, and you guys just keep on supporting us, and it's really appreciated.
Thank you. Eli.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to say thank you to John. NEMRR is definitely, since it changed from LRS to NEMRR, it's been a different world. It's been crazy, actually. It's, you guys have made so many cool improvements, whether it's the track, trying to make it safer, and continuing making it safer to, obviously I didn't go through the Penguin program like a lot of these kids did. And, I've watched it from the side, and, it's always, it's produced these fast kids above me and next to me. So, you got a whole bunch of upcoming talent coming through, Fazegas's, Betancourt, you've created, this year we had 6 Loudon riders in MotoAmerica competing. It's crazy that, from when I started in 2018, me, Ben, and Teagg were really the only 3 kids around. And then fast forward to now, it's probably like close to 12. So it's cool to see that progression. And, the whole NEMRR staff has been super helpful this year. And over the last few years, it's a huge family. NEMRR's been one of the biggest families I could always go back to and just have a big smile on my face. I've been through the highs and lows at Loudon, from my dad's incident happened right in front of me, and not having a dad for the weekend, and not knowing what was going on, to, having 30 people waiting in my garage for me, willing to help and do anything for me and stop what they're doing. So, and from to where I was this year at the Classic, where, top local and battling out for top 5 and having the fastest lap of the race, and just having that home crowd just be there and waiting for me to come back in the pits. It was just, as I said before, NEMRR's the greatest family you could ever ask for out of a race series. And, it's nice to see a lot of the NEMRR guys come down to the local MotoAmerica rounds. It definitely makes it have more home feeling, and, it definitely helps me a little bit. And, I'm definitely looking forward to a lot of things going on this year, hopping back on, a motard at Loudon and racing the 600 and trying a whole bunch of new things, and, fully doing full MotoAmerica season. It's definitely a new challenge, but I'm up for it and really want to make everyone proud and just prove that I do belong.
All right. I'm sure you're going to achieve that goal. You've got the what were we saying last year at the end of the season? The Tiger.
I don't know if I'd say Tiger.
Maybe, I would say
more
Tiger. Maybe more of like Chihuahua.
Yeah,
fighting at
the tenacity of a Chihuahua. That's probably better. The tenacity of a Chihuahua.
Yeah. It's not about the size of the dog. It's about I don't even know the quote. It's not
Forget
about
it. Don't go there.
No.
Don't go there because that
Maybe.
can
Hold on.
really go bad.
Hold up. Let me think here. I don't even know.
Think. Quit while you're ahead.
Yeah, it's too far.
Thanks, Eli. Ben, you're
we
muted.
can't hear
Is this the best way to listen to you?
We can't hear you. Are you muted? No.
Nothing.
So how was everyone's day?
Actually, mine kind of, I bought that new truck last year. Well, it was used, the 22 model. I got to put a starter in it. By the time I pay my deductible on my extended warranty and have it towed to the shop, it's cheaper for me to buy a starter and put it in it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go. So now we're back to Mr. Ben Gloddy for his final
Yeah,
words.
I was saying, backing up what Teagg, John, Eli were just saying, if it wasn't for the whole NEMRR family and the Penguin Mentor program that me and Teagg kind of started with Eric and John, when me and Teagg were just moving up to the 300s and 400s, I don't think I'd be anywhere close to where I'm at today. Racing MotoAmerica wise, even speaking, like just being on a video call like this. If this was when I first started, you might get 2 or 3 words out of me, and that'd be it. But I can't thank John and Eric enough for everything they've done for me. As I was coming up through the ranks, and they had a lot of patience for me when I was first starting. I was one of the youngest kids to start racing at Loudon again, and I had a whole book on me about everything I did all year long, and they watched me like a hawk, and if I made a mistake or did whatever, I paid a little bit of a price for it, but it was worth it now that everything's paying off, and just looking back at it and seeing where I came from and where I'm at now. It's really all thanks to John and Eric. My first MotoAmerica ride, Eric put me in touch with the guy that owned the team, Dale Quarterly, and that's kind of where it all started from there.
Great. I am really looking forward to this year. I am so looking forward to it. For those of you that are going to see this after the fact, don't forget about the Loudon Classic this year. This will be the second year with the highest paying purse in motorcycle history, if I'm not mistaken. It's matching last year, and it's still 250,000. John.
It is. I mean, it's actually 260 because we have the other. Actually, no. For the classic itself, it's 250. We have the $10,000 added incentive for locals, basically, and then we have 10,000, 5,000 for the Thunder bike, and we have 5,000 for the Superbike 500, and then 50,000 for the Azra a lot baggers.
So you're well over $300,000 in purse money.
Yeah, like 310.
Wow. So if you ever wanted to see some motorcycle road racing, local, it's Loudon, New Hampshire. You can get there from anywhere in New England in a very short drive. And the racing, the atmosphere, the family atmosphere. I only started back racing a season and a half ago. And the welcome that you feel when you get there, and everybody being friendly, it's a big family. Just everything that they've been talking about is exactly what it is. It's just a big family. So make sure you come out, and you don't have to just come out for the Loudon Classic. You can come out on any of the race weekends. You can look up the schedule on NEMRR.com. Schedule's on there. If you have any questions about getting started in racing, you can go there and get that information. as well as school information and what you need. They've also got a street program, Super Street. So that's something else that helps get people into racing. But with that, I'd just like to thank everybody who tuned in live and who's going to watch this in the future. And by all means, guys, share this. I know last year Cycle News picked up one of my videos and get you guys some exposure. Ben, wish you the best. I hope we can get you some support for this year and you can get a full year in.
Thank you very much.
Eli, best of luck. Teagg, best of luck. John,
Thank you.
looking forward to seeing you again, my friend. And with that, I'm just going to go ahead and close it out.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.